talking to that rock? Huh? What is that? Ah! I'm a monster!
Activate glider pack!
Can I stay with you? Please, 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 please. Please, 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 please.
So all the animation you just saw was 100% made on our software. My name is Sibel Demren, and I'm part of the core leadership team releasing Citrus software to the world today. Tangerine, our fresh real-time 3D software, and Yuzu, our smart production management system. And then we have a secret surprise at the end. This was a huge labor of love developed by an incredibly exceptional and talented team. And also we have a mascot named JB, the Cappy. So please welcome our panel today, Baptiste Spieser, the head of R&D.
So hi everybody, so I'm actually another JB, not the one of the on the table currently. So yeah, I'm the happy head of research and development of the current team. That thanks to Tara and Marco is able to be here today. It means really a lot to me. I've been working with Team 2 of the studio since the beginning, day one. I was the first employee almost. Well, I was the first employee, and yeah, I was working for 20 years for the studio, and I'm so happy to be here today. It means a lot to me to be able to share with you what we did together, the team. Thanks.
Thank you. Sixtine Pera, the head of projects.
Yes, so I kind of grew up in that team for a long time, more than 10 years. It was a lot of collaboration with the team, with user, so many people in the way. So I'm really proud of what we achieved and to share it with you guys today.
And Sébastien Barlet, our senior animator, who is going to be leading our demo later.
Hi everybody, I'm so happy to be here to show you this wonderful software, Tangerine.
Thank you. So we could jump right into a couple of questions before. Sixtine, what is the current pipeline issues that Citrus software is trying to solve?
Yes, actually there is a lot, several on the way, but at the end of the day it's all finished the same. You're losing time everywhere, time waiting for assets to load, time searching for information, time lost in the information. It's all getting on the creativity of the artist and on their flow.
And how exactly does Citrus software look to solve this?
We choose to put back the artist at the center of the process. Today, our animator, for example, says that it's like dancing with the characters to animate in Tangerine. And we achieve that by eliminating the performances bottlenecks through real-time workflow. So real-time in animation, real-time in getting information. Performances, but never compromising the artist needs.
Thank you. JB, Sixtine mentioned real time a lot of times, so what does that really mean for animation?
So yeah, literally real time means that you get the information when you ask for it. So basically in an information system, what we do is that we provide information before we actually ask for it. So and in animation, we want the animator as soon as he or she does something with the characters, that the characters reacts like a human being. And typically, no matter how complex the scene is, no matter how many characters you have in the scene, we are able in Tangerine to animate at 24 FPS. So in real time means 24 images per second when you hit the spacebar.
Awesome. Okay. So our first software, we just want to give you a preview because we do not have time to demo it today. It's called Yuzu. It's our production management tool, and we will just take a couple minutes to share about it.
Citrus Software presents our smart and fresh production management tool, Yuzu. Today's animation productions demand more. Tighter budgets, shorter timelines, and no room for error. What if you could deliver every project on time and on budget? Well, now you can. Meet Yuzu, the smart production system offering real-time visibility, predictive insight, and seamless coordination. With over 500 hours of animation managed and 100% on-time delivery, Yuzu is changing the game. How did we do this? We solved for every level of production: operational, tactical, and strategic. First, operational. Clarity for artists and coordinators. Live data, clean views, communication without the clutter. Seamless integration in your pipeline and relevant information at all times. In Yuzu, information isn't just accessible, it's actionable, ensuring every team member works with context, clarity, and confidence. Next up, tactical. Plan and manage with precision. Supervisors track tasks through live summaries and customizable dashboards. And finally, strategic. Confidence for executives. Make the right decisions early with clear foresight and predictive analytics. Model key production factors in real time so you always know where you stand and where you're heading. Teams feel empowered and everyone stays aligned. Yuzu fits right into your workflow. Just plug and play. One thing's for sure, if you use it, you'll love it. Start managing with confidence. Request your demo today.
So it makes production management that easy?
Yeah, I think we nailed it. It's a complex problem with a simple solution. It's an Yuzu, it's fresh. I think we need a freshness currently. But don't take my word for it. We had 1,000 users of Yuzu currently, and there is at least one in the audience maybe that is able to testify. I don't know if we have a volunteer.
Is there a volunteer?
Hey.
Oh! Hey!
I'll talk about it.
Okay. Great random user.
I'm Bill Kinder. I'm excited to tell you about Yuzu. Okay, I'll sit down. Est-ce qu'il y a des chargés de production dire quoi ici? Any? Yay! Okay. So, production management is so key to keeping the big cruise liner that is an animation production on course, right? If you start out 2 degrees off course at the beginning of a show, right, you're going to wind up in the middle of nowhere. And animation takes a long time, and you need to stay on course with where you're going all the time. And Yuzu has done that. I've been using it for 4 years now. And I'll give you 2 quick stories about how it's really kind of saved me in the role of looking after complex shows. My first story is about scheduling. You know, when I first got here at Team Toe in 2021, I worked on a show that was very complex, 52 episodes. And I had come from a feature film background where the schedules were, 4 or 5 years and hundreds of millions of dollars and lots of time in there to find your way. And TV production, as you know, goes much faster and it's really important to keep on track. And we got to one point on this show where I call it the back-end departments. Lighting, compositing, effects, rendering. We were getting behind. And as I penciled it out and extrapolated from where we were, I could see that we were going to be late. And so I had a little bit of panic, on the inside. And I went to our internal folks, I went to Sibel, and I said, how do you guys flip on the overtime switch here? How does that work? What do we do? And he said, no, that's not what we do. Let's take a look at the problem. And with Yuzu, he showed me how we were going to deliver at the current pace with the current staff with no overtime on a certain date about 9 months later. And it was a beautiful graph. And I thought, that's a great picture, but why do I believe that? And Sibel believed it, and I believed Sibel. Now I believe it, and I trust Yuzu because what it has is a way of looking at the information in the production that, as a human, I couldn't see, that was not visible to me. These things are very complex, right? You have all these departments, and Yuzu was able to synthesize that into this great trend line that turned out to be within 1 day. We delivered 1 day earlier than Yuzu predicted those 9 months later, right? Which is pretty astonishing precision if you think about it. And I'd rather be on the early side than the late side. So that was a happy story with scheduling. My second quick story on how Yuzu helps productions has to do with budgets and communication with partners, right? So there was a show that was very complex, 52 episodes, and we did a budget based on the scripts that we had seen. But when something that big gets going, they haven't written all the scripts yet. So we were basing our plan on something that wasn't complete yet. And Yuzu helped identify that we weren't going to fit all of the assets into the budget that our partner had agreed to. In other words, sets, props, characters. Their writers, each episode, were not working within the box that we had given them for those assets. They were writing different places in the park, in the apartment, and getting excited about new ideas, which is great, but each of those things, as you know, needs to be built. And so we warned them. We said, well, this is looking like it's going a little over. You might want to talk to your writers. And we'd get another few episodes, and we could see that it was continuing the trend. And so I was able to do a summary report with Yuzu to communicate with the client, just like a dashboard in your car. And I remember saying, you guys aren't going to make it to Barstow on this much gas. Look at your gas meter. And it was really a visual indicator like that, like they were going to run out. And you have a choice. You can either have your writers write within the scope that you originally planned, or you can plan to go a little bit over, and here's what that would look like. And if there were finance people, I could put dollar signs. They're American, so I could put dollar signs next to what this was going to cost, because the whole thing is very transparent, and all the information, this is really important too, all the information that goes into Yuzu comes to it through the people doing the actual work. So there's not a coordinator who has to go interview people in the department and then enter the data of the work that they're doing. It just becomes part of your vision for what's happening on the show as you go. And then you can do all of these kind of presentations with the information, look at it and examine it and analyze it and talk about what you want to do and make real choices creatively based on the information that you're getting. Because at the end of the day, someone in production is there to serve the creative vision of the show and make it the best it can be. I mean, that's why I came to Paris, was to work on projects with great, talented, creative artists without spending gobs of money like I was seeing happen where I was. So those are my two happy Yuzu stories. I'd be happy to talk to anyone chargé de production in the back. Anyone who wants to talk about it afterwards, I'd love to get into it.
Thank you so much for your insight. And you have a book at the Annecy. Shameless plug. Okay, so JB, so can you just summarize how is it that production management could be so accurate?
So it is accurate, like Bill said, because we collected information during years on the field of the productions. Since it's a studio that has created this software, we know exactly what is the common sense in productions. What does a ramp-up means, for instance? What does a learning curve means, for instance? And we were able to collect and grab all the data and do the algorithm that is able to predict the inflection point of the production. So it's basically we just look at the way we were doing the productions and we put an algorithm on it, and like this we were able to be so accurate. Just everything is in the data, like often. We were able to manage them.
Awesome. Okay, so enough of the talking. We're finally going to get to the live demo. We're going to start with a quick video to introduce Tangerine.
Citrus Software presents our dedicated animation tool. Meet Tangerine, a real-time animation software. Designed to reduce production costs by up to 30%, Tangerine brings fresh efficiency to your pipeline. Supporting both 3D and 2.5D, Tangerine adapts to your needs. Built on 15 years of in-house R&D and over 70 hours of high-quality animation, we're just getting started. Our formula? Dedicated tools for artists, combined with unmatched performance. With feature film quality rigging, intuitive controls, smart reuse features, and seamless timeline scrubbing, Tangerine keeps animators in flow. Guaranteed 24 frames per second, even in the most complex scenes. No more waiting on play blasts. Real time is the new standard. Animate live with multiple characters and assets. Smooth, responsive, and immediate. Build massive scenes or populate entire crowds. No matter how many assets, performance never drops. Fully compatible with industry standard pipelines, Tangerine integrates effortlessly. No compromises required. Easy to learn. Onboard in 1 day, master in 1 week. Finally, animation software loved by animators and CFOs. Tangerine, real time, real performance. Schedule a demo today.
Thank you. So we're going to jump to Sébastien Barlet, who's leading our live demo on Tangerine.
Let's start with the main thing, the magic thing is real time. Here on the bottom right, you can see the FPS. It's the number of frames displayed in every view in Tangerine. Upstairs, the timeline, you can see this blue bar is the cache bar. When it's full, it's filled and ready to show in real time your animation. So, this is the first module, the library. In this library we can... Oh, no. I'm sorry guys. Look at that.
Yeah, actually the library is made to inject some posing that have been prepared earlier to be efficient in production and have...
It allows us to prepare in pre-production facial, lips and some work cycle and things like that. And
Sébastien, tell me something. How many characters do you have in the scene?
40 in this one.
And
It's
still
not
real time, right?
Yeah, it's still real time. You can see here.
Oh.
That's the main thing. And I can, when I move any controllers on any characters, the cache will be instantly recalculated. One thing pretty cool in this library, I can inject the posing I want from 0 to 100% in real time and see the effect. And you can just adjust or like you.
It seems like I could do animation, but no.
It's pretty handy and cool for the facial and the lips and things like that. All our rigs are delivered with the right-click feature. You have a mirror and a flip for the posing and for animation. So you can, in one click, just flip or mirror an entire animation. We have, on this right-click feature, we have the switch from IK to FK. In the right-click, we have the same thing with follow head, follow shoulder. But when I switch from IK to FK, the arm didn't move. Animators know what I mean. Here we have the picker boards. When I open the scene, all the character list in the scene have his own picker loaded automatically. And the magic part is when I select a controller on a character, his picker is instantly selected. You didn't waste your time to find the right picker in all of this.
So the basic features are really accessible.
Yeah, of course. Let's move on a more demanding and realistic scene.
Wait a second, Sébastien. You had both scenes open at the same time?
Yeah, JB, both scenes are open at the same time. I have my 20.
Wow.
Here it's on Infinity, a show we made last year. And we are talking about automatic things, and here in the taxation, when I open the scene, automatically all the characters, the props and the setup are listed here by category. When I hover them, I can see them in the scene, so I can select which guy I want to isolate or in which view I want, all or nothing. I like to have all my character in my camera, and here in the viewport I like to have a clear view of what I'm doing and just showing the character and the props I'm working on. Here we see a tiny thing, it's the animation reference. Animation reference, sorry. And when I open the scene, once again, automatically Tangerine load me the animatic of my shot. So you didn't have to open a player to show your reference. And this reference, and can put anything in that, another layer of animation. I can film me with my phone and use it as a reference. You can move it, you can put it in the background, you can scale it, or everything like that. And I can show this in the view I choose. Let's talk about dynamic. It's pretty magic. If you look here on the left, the cap will move pretty nicely. If I put the dynamic to off, you will see it move like cardboard. So come back.
Who can see the blue line loading? Because it's really fast.
Now it's blink. And the magic part is all these dynamic are cached automatically when I move any controllers. If I want to have a beautiful silhouette or correct this penetration, for example, I just take that. Look, when I release my click, you see the pop, and the pop is saying your cache is calculated and I'm ready to show you 24 frames per second. So I correct my penetration in 3 clicks. let's talk about the constraint. We develop a system of constraint that's as easy as we can, so the child can use it. I will take the knife on these guys. Yep. Here on frame 1, you have to attach the knife to the end, and after it's one button. Catch release, that's all. You didn't touch anything about that. Here I want my knife to be detached. Release. Here I want my knife to be there. Here I want my knife to be there. Here I want my knife come back in his hand. And then a piece of cakes. We have multi-constraint, it's very easy to use. Yep. It's like a rig for the shot, and we have a section of cluster. If I have a modelization and I didn't have all the deformer I want on a character or on the props, I can in one click add a deformer where I want. I want to deform this part. I click, and simply by clicking it add a tiny deformer, and you can adjust the ratio, and of course it's animable.
So again, you have less.
Back and forth, yeah, basically you don't have to back and forth with the rig department, right?
Yeah. Wait, you didn't waste your time with send back to another department. If I have a tiny piece of t-shirt across my vest, you don't have to go back with the rig, with the skinning, and 3 days later, yeah, you can correct your penetration. Here I just take 10 seconds and I put the vertex back, and it's done. We have one-click shader management. It was very, very useful to see your animation in terms of volume and silhouette. You can see the background are not shaded in the same way like characters and props, so you didn't have to hide your background to show the silhouette, and I love this feature. It's pretty cool with one click. We have other shader to track penetration between layers, like that. Every part have a different color, so it's obvious when you have a penetration. I like to use this one to check the contact with the floor. When you have a dark floor and dark shoes, you see nothing. So last thing, we have we have a motion trail, and it's very, very, very light and very cool to use. If I take the knife, I can show you the pass, and here directly in the viewport and the camera I can select my point and manage my arc, the arc of my movement, and it's very, very fast and efficient. You can see. Si je pourrais résumer, ce logiciel, on l'a créé dans un but de remettre au centre le travail de l'animateur. Le travail de l'animateur, c'est de créer du mouvement. Ici, j'appuie sur ma barre espace, je vois un mouvement qui sera le même que ce qu'il y aura à la sortie. J'ai pas besoin de faire 10 000 places dans ma journée. Enlever tout ce côté, tous les problèmes techniques pour remettre au centre du coup le côté artistique du mouvement et de la transmission de sensations et de sentiments. Et c'est pour ça que c'est juste le paradis pour les animateurs. Ça a été créé par des animateurs pour des animateurs et on le fait évoluer avec des animateurs. Donc c'est juste le monde merveilleux de l'animateur. Quand j'arrive le matin pour travailler là-dessus, j'ai le sourire et on peut donner vie dans la joie et la bonne humeur avec le sourire avec toute l'équipe.
So I know we have very little time, but I just wanted to see, JB, if you just wanted to do a recap on how Yuzu and Tangerine could save up to 30% on production.
Yeah, this is something we measured in productions in Tinto if you compare it to other commercial solutions. With the fact that the animation is real-time, with even complex scene, with the fact that every single piece of feature has been defined with the users, with the very talented animators that Tinto works with. Because of that, only because of that, because it's smart, because it has been made with passion, and with the users, used to 30%. It's something you can measure on the productions if you compare it with other animation done with the same animators, with the commercial software that you may know.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, talking about share, I would like to share you something. So, briefly, Sébastien mentioned the rig, and we have developed in Tinto in the last years a very powerful rig system named Mikan. And Mikan, it's Japanese for Tangerine. And the information that I give you today, that I share with you, the surprise that we're going to open source it, and we're going to do it in a couple of weeks before the end of the month. To allow all the whole community of animation and rig all over the world, all the studios, the independents, the freelance, to be able to work with Tangerine and Mikan and be able to use this very powerful rigging tool that has been developed and with which we have rigged like 1,000 characters in the last years. So it's really powerful and it gives a whole sense to Tangerine. And it's compliant with Maya, it's able to support with Maya, it's able to export in Maya and in Tangerine. And soon also it's able to export, it will be able to export to Blender soon. So it's a diagnostic system of rigging that is really smart, done by very talented people that I have the honor to lead today.
We're excited to be creating innovation and solutions for very common existing pipeline problems and animation problems. This was built with a team of extremely dedicated people who love animation, and we like to say it was built by artists for artists. So check it out, follow us online, and thank you.